Hello everyone. I'd like to focus on walls today, specifically structural walls and how they differ from normal walls when one utilizes the family browser. Now many of you might know already, or if you don't know, that if you have an element and you want to place that element, let's suppose you want to draw a wall, then on the architectural tab you might invoke a wall command, wall architectural. You also have the option to draw wall structural. So let's suppose we go with the wall architectural. This is how it's taught in most textbooks. You do have all these settings up here that you can use, and then you can choose whichever wall you would like to draw from the type selector. Now in this case we are dealing with a structural wall, so we would like to draw the concrete wall. Now because I invoked this using the architectural wall, you will see that the structural setting for the wall has been blanked out on the instance properties. The result of that is if you draw the wall, it might be missing completely from your view. Why? Because your discipline has been set to structural. Switching that out to coordination will show you both the architectural and the structural walls. If we select that structural wall, then we are able to change the instance property of the structural wall so that it is structural. The result of that is if we switch the discipline of the view back to structural, that wall will remain visible. The alternative to that is to invoke the wall by using the structural wall command, in which case the wall will have its structural property once again grayed out, set to structural, in which case the wall will automatically have its instance property of its structural property set to be checked, and it is visible. On the structural tab, the wall command is once again visible, and again we can choose to draw a structural wall or an architectural wall. The same argument holds for both. Now, using the family browser, my personal choice to place items within a model is to look them up from within the browser. Now, sometimes you might have many different walls, and invoking the command from the wall, either structural or architectural, gives you a very long list of walls to choose from, so that becomes quite irritating in the sense that you have to look around for the correct wall on the type selector. It's much easier to look the wall up from your family browser, or any other family for that matter, and then to invoke the command by dragging the wall onto the screen and then drawing the wall. Note though that the default setting for the structural property when you drag a wall onto the screen is to leave the wall as an architectural wall. That means that you have no option except to draw an architectural wall when you drag the wall onto the screen. Hence, the conclusion: do not use the browser to invoke the wall command when you are building up a structural model. Instead, always use the structural wall command from the ribbon menu to invoke the structural wall, so that the structural property is enabled and you are in fact drawing a structural classified wall as per that instance property. Just a note on walls in general and on system families. You should, just like the British do in their family library, for your own company, not only for walls but for other system families, for instance roofs and ceilings, floors, you should create another project. Here's the example of the British system family library for walls. You should build up a file with all of these walls, and the reason you would like to do that is when you purge and purge all unused, you might get into a situation where there are many different walls within your project, and if we purge everything, all those wall definitions will be gone from your project. Even in the template, it might be overkill to leave all the system families loaded in. The advantage of having a system family library like the following for your company is you can very easily just transfer the project standards and choose to bring in only the wall types. You can also copy and paste individual walls, but now you can see that all the wall types are back again within the property. I hope, just with regards to structural walls and the drawing of structural walls, this has alerted you to the fact that you must use the ribbon menu to invoke the structural wall command. Otherwise you will be drawing an architectural wall by default, and your discipline for the view, if set to structural, will exclude the wall from the display. Until next time, enjoy Revit.